Can motorcycles become possessed? This is absolutely the last thing on any motorcyclist's mind as he or she throws a leg over their bike. The oversimplified answer would be no. Why should they be? After all, they are inanimate objects, governed by scientific principles only. But are they? Let's take a look at some real-life accounts where vehicles were allegedly possessed. 1. James Dean's Porsche. James Dean's car, the Porsche 550 Spider, nicknamed Little Bastard, is perhaps one of the most famous haunted vehicles. After his fatal crash in 1955, the car was reportedly involved in a series of mysterious incidents. Parts from the wrecked car were salvaged and installed in other vehicles, which subsequently suffered their own deadly accidents. Even while on display, the car allegedly caused injuries and strange occurrences. It eventually disappeared under mysterious circumstances in 1960 and has never been found since. 2. The haunted number 7, London bus. From the 1930s to the 1990s, numerous witnesses reported sightings of a ghostly double-decker bus on the streets of London. Known as the Phantom Bus, it was said to appear suddenly on the road, causing drivers to swerve to avoid it. The bus would then vanish just as quickly as it appeared. These sightings reportedly ceased after a fatal accident in 1934, where a car swerved to avoid the bus and crashed into a wall. Maybe the scene of the Knight's bus in Harry Potter is closer to reality than we thought. 3. Bonnie and Clyde's car. The bullet-ridden Ford V8 that Bonnie and Clyde were killed in has reportedly continued to exhibit strange phenomena. The car, which is now on display in a casino in Nevada, has been associated with eerie apparitions, including ghostly figures in photographs and unsettling sensations experienced by visitors. 4. The Golden Eagle. A 1964 Dodge 330, nicknamed the Golden Eagle, is often referred to as the most evil car in America. The car has been linked to the deaths of over 30 people, including several police officers who drove it, leading many to believe it is cursed. 5. Ombana, also known as Bullet Baba in India, owned a Royal Enfield Bullet that became a shrine after his tragic death in an accident. The motorcycle is said to mysteriously return to the accident site, despite police efforts to tie it up and empty its fuel. When these attempts failed, locals decided to turn the site into a shrine. They believe that Ombana's spirit continues to protect travelers on the highway, and many people stop to pray at the shrine for a safe journey. 6. Skegness Ghost Bomber. In the skies above the UK, there have been reports of a ghostly World War II bomber known as the Skegness Ghost Bomber, which appears suddenly over the town of Skegness before vanishing. Some believe these sightings are caused by residual energy from traumatic wartime events, while others think they may be psychological manifestations or hallucinations. But is there any truth to these chilling tales? From a scientific perspective, what could explain these phenomena? Experts suggest that faulty mechanics or electronic malfunctions could lead to bizarre occurrences that might seem like possession. For example, a short circuit can cause the ignition to start without a key. Meanwhile, psychologists point to the human mind's tendency to anthropomorphize objects or attribute human characteristics to machines, especially during times of grief or stress. However, in today's world of rapid technological advancements, the lines between normal and paranormal has blurred significantly. With the development of 5G connectivity, advanced AI-generated softwares and AI itself leading to self-driving vehicle technologies, we might need to reconsider how we categorize these new, smart inventions. For example, if you're over 30, then you probably know what a phone is. But what we carry around today in 2024 can hardly be called a phone. Honestly, what should we call it?
Beautiful.
A talking glass mirror, perhaps?
You're the most beautiful of them all.
Most of our vehicles are operating with some version of a brain in them called the ECU, which is controlling and monitoring all the vitals of the car or motorcycle, like a spinal cord. Then there's the fuel they consume and the waste they emit, pretty much like any other living organism. They are fully capable of communicating with us efficiently in more ways than one and in every language.
In approximately 1 kilometer, turn right. You will arrive at your destination at 1836.
With more advanced technology like radar, LiDAR, gyroscopic sensors, they have become more perceptive than us in many cases. So with all this technology now in play, the chance of someone taking over the electronics by way of hacking is no longer a what-if situation, but what-when situation. Of course, we don't want to think of such things when we get on the road, and we're all going to assume that nothing will ever happen to us. And for the most part, nothing will. Until it does. But this isn't a video about a human gaining control of your motorcycle or car, but rather a more malevolent being. Now, when we talk about the unseen, there are some who are blissfully unaware, then those that are willfully unaware, and those that are fully aware. The ones that are willfully unaware have already clicked away from the video, so let's not talk about them, and talk to only those that are either blissfully unaware and those that are aware and find themselves seeking more information. In India, which is one of the most spiritually aware countries known to man, they perform a ceremony for their vehicles when they take them out of the showroom and repeat this ceremony once every year. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, in the West, they also do a ceremony every year. It's called a service. But a service doesn't take care of unseen problems. And well, some services add to the problems from certain qualified garages, if you're catching my drift. But coming back to the point, these rituals are done in some shape or form in many countries. Like in the United States, particularly among motorcyclists, there is a belief that attaching a small bell, often called a guardian bell or gremlin bell, to a motorcycle can ward off evil spirits or road gremlins that might cause mechanical problems or accidents. The legend says that these gremlins are attracted to motorcycles and cause mischief on the road, but the ringing of the bell scares them away. The tradition is especially popular in the biker community, and it is often considered good luck to receive a bell as a gift from a fellow rider. Now, I can't imagine any of us running down to the garage right now to hang a bell or chili lemons on our motorcycles. But that doesn't mean we can completely disregard all the hundreds of thousands of testimonies on the internet as fakes, or write them off as being either rider error or mechanical failure. It's clear there is something here that we should look into because we simply can't ignore it anymore. There is an overwhelming amount of video footage growing by the minute on the internet, which has been made possible nowadays just by the sheer volume of cameras we carry around in the world today. And are we really going to be as arrogant to say everything has a rational explanation? Now let's listen to the testimony of Pastor John Ramirez, an ex-Satanist who was said to have ranked the third highest devil worshipper in New York and later turned to Christ to be saved.
If I tell you I was going to kill you in 30 days, you prepare your funeral, you was going to die in 30 days. I don't care who you were, I don't care who you knew, I don't care what you call yourself. If you were Catholic and you say you were Christian and you say you were a believer, I was going to kill you unless you had a real relationship with Jesus Christ.
Ramirez, during his time as a devil worshipper, confesses to actively going around cursing and hexing objects, taking advantage of weak, unsuspecting people, and performing blood rituals to take control of entire apartment blocks. He claims causing harm and even death by way of commanding the spirits was a way to gain favor and rank with his second father, the devil. I would highly recommend you visit his channel and watch his bone-chilling testimonies, because it gives us a glimpse into a world we know so very little about, and yet it seems to have a significant and real impact on us. So what is that we can infer from all of this? Well, whether we place any stock in the unseen world, spirits, angels, demons, witchcraft and the like, it is becoming harder and harder to ignore it entirely. Because through our constant blind adoption of science and technology, we are understanding less and less as to how it works, or who's behind the code. What are their intentions? And what, when there are no longer humans behind that code, but machines, can we understand their intentions too? What programs and software updates will AI write for our motorcycles, I wonder? You see, it is no longer fairy tales, myths, folklore, or mythology anymore. The unseen world is manifest in our daily lives in more ways than one. Things that we would have considered mythology are about to happen or have already happened, but are we ready? So what can we do in the real world? Well, apart from the obvious care and maintenance, take a moment before you jump on and ride away to observe what your bike tells you by way of any messages that appear on the dash and ignore none. 2. On startup, with your helmet off, listen out for any new sounds, squeaks, rattles, or buzzes that are out of the ordinary and investigate them immediately. 3. Inspect the engine periodically, especially after long tours for any signs of stress or oil leakage, even if it's a fine layer. 4. Remove the seat and check for any strong smells. You will be surprised as to how much information you can pick up with smell. In doing these basic tests, we ensure that there is nothing physically wrong with the vehicle. If you do find something out of the ordinary, see if you can diagnose the problem yourself or consult your local mechanic. After all that, if your vehicle's still exhibiting unexplainable strange behavior, or making you feel like doing things you wouldn't normally think of doing, like wanting to pull into oncoming traffic or veer off a cliff, then I suggest you stop riding immediately and consult your local priest. Here are a few things the Bible has to say about this. 1. Recognize the spiritual battle. The Bible teaches that spiritual warfare is real and ongoing. In Ephesians 6:12 it says, "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms." Understanding that there is a spiritual dimension to life's challenges helps believers remain vigilant and prayerful. 2. Put on the armor of God. Ephesians 6:10-18 encourages believers to put on the full armor of God to stand against the devil's schemes. This includes the belt of truth, the breastplate of righteousness, the gospel of peace, the shield of faith, the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the Word of God. Each piece represents spiritual truths and defenses that help protect against spiritual attacks. 3. Pray continuously. Prayer is seen as a powerful defense against spiritual attack. In Ephesians 6:18, believers are encouraged to pray in the Spirit on all occasions with all kinds of prayers and requests. Prayer strengthens a person's spiritual awareness, invites God's protection, and helps to resist evil influences. 4. Resist the devil. James 4:7 advises, "Submit yourselves then to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you." This verse emphasizes the importance of submitting to God's authority and actively resisting temptations or negative influences. 5. Stay sober and vigilant. 1 Peter 5:8 warns believers to be alert and of sober mind. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. This means maintaining spiritual awareness, avoiding complacency, and staying strong in faith. Whether it's just a fault in the machine or something more supernatural, the legends of possessed motorcycles continue to spark fear and fascination. But maybe the next time you ride, you'll listen just a bit closer to the whispers in the wind. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, ride safe and stay vigilant.